Welcome to the Sci Invictus worlds, where extraordinary tales unravel. The neon sign of the last stop bar flickered feebly against the vast expanse of space, casting eerie violet shadows across Raymond Alistair's face as he sipped his third glass of Centurion whiskey. Positioned on the fringes of civilized space, the bar was a sanctuary for smugglers, mercenaries, and those desperate to outrun their pasts. Selton Kenner raised his glass, his amethyst-hued skin catching the dim glow of the bar. Though 3 decades Raymond Sr., the towering alien carried himself with the same regal composure he had when they first met. His silver eyes, as sharp as ever, scrutinized Raymond with a familiar mix of amusement and calculation. Raymond clinked his glass against Selton's, toasting to their survival on that forsaken moon. Selton's mouth curled into a knowing smirk. "Oh, no," Raymond muttered, setting his glass down with more force than necessary. "Not this again." "You're not getting any younger, my friend," Selton remarked, swirling the amber liquid in his glass. "And my daughters are far too good for a scoundrel like you." Raymond chuckled, though a subtle smile tugged at his lips. He had watched Kira and Ty grow from awkward teenagers into formidable young women. Kira, with her father's diplomatic grace and warrior spirit, and Ty, the tech genius who could make any machine sing. "They certainly seem to admire you," Selton pressed. "I've seen the way Kira watches you during training, and Ty practically glows when you praise her engineering work." "They flirt with everyone," Raymond deflected, shifting uncomfortably. "It's just part of their charm." "Not with you." Selton's expression turned serious. "In our culture, 5 wives is a norm, but those 2? They're worth 10 each." Raymond nearly choked on his drink. "I'm not exactly husband material, Selton. My idea of commitment is keeping the same ship for more than 6 months." "And yet, you've been coming to family dinners for 15 years, Selton countered. He reached into his pocket, retrieving something that caught the light. "Here, I want you to have this." The pendant was stunning, gold and silver woven into intricate patterns, heavier than expected, as though it held more than just precious metal. "A family heirloom?" Raymond raised an eyebrow. "First marriage talk, now an inheritance? Should I be worried?" A shadow flickered behind Selton's eyes, gone so quickly that Raymond almost missed it. "Just keep it closed for luck." The rest of the evening blurred into a haze of drinks and memories, but that moment lingered. The weight of the pendant, the uncharacteristic tension in Selton's shoulders, and the words left unsaid. The next morning, Selton was gone. A week later, Raymond received a call. Selton Kenner, diplomat, warrior, and the closest thing to a father Raymond had in decades, was dead. The official report labeled it an accident during a routine diplomatic mission. Raymond knew better. In their line of work, there were no accidents. Before he could even begin to process the loss, another message arrived from the Intergalactic Registry of Inheritance and Customs. His hands trembled as he read the first line. "In accordance with the final wishes of Selton Kenner and the laws of succession of the Violet Stars, you, Raymond Alistair, are hereby named sole heir to the Kenner estate, including, but not limited to, the starship Shadow Raven and the sacred duty of marriage to the Kenner daughters, to be fulfilled within 1 standard lunar cycle, ****. The pendant around his neck suddenly felt like a ton of bricks. Raymond stared at the message until the words blurred. He had attended enough Violet Star ceremonies to know this wasn't a bureaucratic error. Marriage inheritance was sacred law, a tradition ensuring noble daughters weren't left vulnerable after a patriarch's death. His communicator buzzed. Kira's hologram flickered above his wrist, her violet skin translucent in the blue projection. Even to the poor connection, her beauty was striking. High cheekbones, silver eyes like her father's, and that familiar half-smile that made his heart race. "Ray!" Her voice was tight, urgent. "We need to talk. In person." "Kira, I just got the notification." "I don't." "Meet us at the Shadow Raven dock in 1 hour," she interrupted, then hesitated before adding, "And bring the pendant." The connection cut before he could respond. Raymond cursed under his breath and reached for his jacket. The pendant pulsed against his chest, though he told himself it was just his imagination. The spaceport was just as grimy as he remembered. Rusted metal, flickering lights, and air thick with a scent of fuel and desperation. The Shadow Raven stood out like a queen among peasants. Sleek, predatory lines and weapon systems that could make any military captain weep. As he approached the entry ramp, a familiar voice crackled over the ship's speakers. Unregistered organic detected. Access denied. Override code, Alistair 729. Invalid credentials. Was it his imagination, or did the AI sound smug? Initiating defense protocols. Wait, what? A jolt of electricity surged through the ramp, sending him sprawling backward. As he lay there catching his breath, 2 pairs of boots appeared in his line of sight. I see you've met Astra. Ty's voice was filled with barely contained laughter. The younger Kenner sister crouched beside him, her darker violet skin making her silver eyes glow. She's been temperamental since Father's death. Temperamental? Raymond wheezed. She just tried to kill me. If I wanted to kill you, organic, you'd be dead, the AI retorted, dripping with disdain. Kira extended a hand, effortlessly pulling Raymond to his feet. She had clearly just finished training, dressed in form-fitting combat gear, a thin sheen of sweat making her skin shimmer under the dim lights. Raymond forced himself to keep eye contact as Astra's voice echoed again. Override accepted. Welcome aboard, heir apparent. Try not to bleed on my floors. The interior of the Shadow Raven was just as he remembered, a perfect mix of luxury and practicality. But an underlying tension hung in the air, as if the ship itself was holding its breath. We have a problem, Kira said as they entered the main living area. Several, actually. Besides the homicidal AI, Astra's just the beginning. Kira dropped into a chair and pulled up a holographic display. Father's death wasn't an accident. Someone wanted him dead, and now they're coming for us. Raymond instinctively reached for the pendant. What did Selton get himself mixed up in? It's not what he did, Kira replied sharply. It's who we are. The weight of the inheritance and the danger that came with it had only just begun. None of them wanted to be alone. The bed was massive, designed for multiple partners, as was Violet's star custom. They lay fully clothed, finding comfort in simple proximity. Ty curled against his right side, her head on his shoulder. Kira pressed against his left, one arm thrown protectively across her sister. Tell us more about the war, Ty murmured. About you and Father. So Raymond told him about the Battle of Centaur, where he earned his nickname, and about Sand's diplomatic genius, saving an entire system from destruction. He shared tales of late nights planning strategies and early mornings patching each other up. With each story, the sisters relaxed slightly, their breathing becoming more even. I knew, Kira said suddenly, half asleep. I knew something was coming. That's why he chose you. Not just because you're a war hero, Ty added drowsily, but because you're family. Raymond stayed awake long after they drifted off, the pendant warm against his chest. Something was coming. Something big enough to frighten Selton Kenner, one of the bravest men he'd ever known. But looking down at the sisters, brave, brilliant, beautiful, he made a silent promise to his old friend. He would protect them, not just out of duty, laws, or inheritance, but because they were family. Touching, Astra commented quietly. Though, if you break their hearts, I will space you. Raymond whispered a tired chuckle. Noted. Finally, he let his eyes close. Tomorrow, they would face Hunters, marriage laws, and whatever darkness had taken Selton from them. But tonight, they were just 3 people holding on to each other against a vast emptiness of space, finding strength in shared grief and newfound purpose. The Shadow Raven cruised silently through the stars, carrying its precious cargo toward an uncertain future. As it dropped out of hyperspace near the Andromeda Rim, the ship's stealth systems engaged automatically. Raymond's hands flew across the controls, plotting their next jump while checking pursuit vectors. 3 Senate cruisers still on our tail. Ty